there you are, friend. Sorry for the informality, but we should keep a low profile. Don't want to spook anyone that might be listening in. Huh. Don't get too used to that. But listen, I was hoping we could talk for a few minutes before we head upstairs. Let me buy you a drink. What do you say? Oh, cut the crap. I'm being real here. There's some things we need to hash out. Come on, pull up a stool. Great. Take a seat.
Oh boy, a customer! What can I get for you? I've got a container of nuclear waste in the back, but you don't look like much of a ghoul to me. So, how about a whiskey for now? Okay, here you go. Enjoy.
I'm going to need you to be standing by the end of this, you know. Salomati, my friend. Well, that's interesting phrasing. Join. Never really thought about it that way. I was already in the National Guard, helping people, maintaining peace. That was my life. The Brotherhood didn't feel like a new organization. It felt like regrouping with my people. A return to form. Maybe some ranks and verbiage changed, but the heart of it was there. I'm not sure I even gave it a second thought. It was. Even knowing what I know now, I have no regrets. They were my people, my comrades. But things changed as time rolled on. As I'm sure you know, the views of the elders and I differed greatly. Sometimes I think... No, I'm certain that I was selected for this mission in order to remove my perspective and influence. The elders saw my pull and experience as a threat and knew I would never align with their goals. What better way to prevent my meddling than to send me packing on a cross-country venture? I often wonder if they ever expected me to report in at all. To make it here alive. Joke's on them, I guess. Alan Connors. That's right. Dear, dear friend. The two of us were from the same unit in the National Guard. Alan had been my rock through every storm I weathered. We survived the bombs together, joined the Brotherhood together. He was more than my right hand. He was really a lifelong companion. I'd never really considered a world without him. Not just to me either. To both Valdez and Shin. He was like a big brother, even a father. He was always there for them. That's the part that gets to me. He was an important person to damn near everyone. It's what makes his absence hurt even more. Almost certainly. When we lost Alan, Shin stepped up to take on many of his responsibilities. He was on top of the grief. That must have been a lot to handle. It led him to fall back on what he knows. Rules and doctrine. He doesn't trust anyone else to help him see beyond that. Not like he trusted Alan. And because of me, because of a call I made, we all lost him. I know Shin will never forgive me for it. Thank you for hearing me out. It's an honor to pass on his story. He deserves that and so much more. I think that's a fine idea. To whom? Thoughtful, but I can't accept. How about to you, Initiate? A harbinger of change and a force to be reckoned with. Bisalamati. Now, on to business. Let's head upstairs. And remember to keep a low profile. We're just a pair of friendly traders looking for potential business.
Here comes trouble.
Ms. Mayfield, my name is Layla. I made an appointment to speak with you.
Please, Joanna is just fine, dear. And while all this cloak and dagger hubbub is flattering, why don't we cut to the chase, Paladin Rahmani?
Well, that was short-lived. Okay, Joanna. It appears I underestimated you.
And looky there. You've got one of these famous vault dwellers in tow. Oh, and I know this one. Made a splash around here. Say, when are you planning to provide some of that skill to my caravans?
I'd appreciate if the job offers were saved for later. We're here on pressing business.
Okay, Paladin. Down to brass tacks, then. It's not an accident that I finally opted to meet with you, after playing hard to get for so long. We know you're interested in the folks that have gone missing. We are too. Been looking into it for a spell now. Plain and simple. I wanted to handle this internally. I didn't want news of this stirring up a panic, maybe causing the perpetrators to flee. Our clients paid us for safe transport, and we failed them. It was our responsibility to solve it discreetly. I'm sure you can appreciate that. As for deceiving Mr. Knapp, well, I dislike fibbing. But sometimes you've got to play your cards close to your chest, especially when lives are at stake.
I don't buy it. Sounds more like you were trying to prevent future clients from being scared off. It makes me wonder if this sudden cooperation isn't in the interest of helping others. Maybe you've just been caught.
I'd be offended by these accusations if it didn't weave such a fascinating story. Are you planning to sell that as a dime novel? Well, if you're wondering why my organization would choose to dodge your calls, examine the attitude with which you've started this conversation. This pseudo-authority you're flaunting is exactly the type of oppression and regulation that my free enterprise can do without. All right. That's fine by me.
Right now, the most important thing is finding everyone that has gone missing and returning them home. Being upfront with your involvement in this now will be looked upon favorably, because we're not stopping until this is solved and they are safe.
Slow down, Paladin. This is not an admission of guilt or an attempt to weasel out of responsibility. We are just as concerned about these folk as you. We're willing to cooperate in hopes of saving lives, nothing else. And if you're hoping I'm about to spill the beans on some secret abduction scheme, you're out of luck. We have the same goals as you in this.
Honeyed words, but we should proceed. What can you tell us about the people that went missing from your caravan?
Better to just let you take a look for yourselves. Ares! Come on in here!
This guy looks like some kind of guard. Probably armed. Don't take your eye off him, Initiate. Thanks. It's good to follow your instincts. They rarely steer me wrong.
You rang, boss?
Harper's Ferry, the train tunnel. Mind showing our guests the route?
Oh, crap. You really want to go back there?
That was exactly my thinking, Ares. Head on over to that tunnel and show this duo of detectives the scene of the crime. Does that sound amenable to y'all?
The train tunnel itself isn't so important, but underneath is a top-secret gas pipeline running all the way out of the region. It's a pretty discreet route. Safe, too, comparatively. Except, the most recent trip. Well, the last known whereabouts of one of our caravans. They set up camp there, but come morning, the entire place was abandoned. It was a big group, maybe around 15, including our own guard.
You've lost that many people? And we're only just now hearing about this.
That's on me. I chose to keep this off the books. May be a bad call, but let's save examining hindsight for when we've gotten to the bottom of this.
Okie dokie, I'll meet you there. It's the big fancy train tunnel, just east of Harper's Ferry.
Now, time is money, and I've burned a bottle and plant worth of caps chatting with you two. So if you don't mind, please direct any further inquiries to my masked associate.
Fine. But after reviewing the evidence, I plan to revisit Blue Ridge's involvement in this matter.
By all means. If you find something that gets us answers, we can talk till the Brahmin come home.
Initiate, glad you made it here safely. That Ares character is further ahead. I should mention, every instinct I have is telling me not to trust him. It seems we don't have much choice for the time being, but we'd be wise to keep an eye on him. As I mentioned before, this isn't my first time dealing with a caravan group like this. More than once, we discovered that slavers had been using the guise of a caravan to collect and transport people. Blue Ridge using a dark corner like this for their operations only raises my suspicions. I cannot overlook the similarities. All right, you take point. Guns at the ready. I spotted some feral ghouls earlier.
Well, hello there. The spot we're looking for is further in the facility. There's a trick to getting in. Give me one shake of a lamb squatch's tail to get it open. Let's see, 30 days past September, carry the 2.
Is this for real?
And here is just a little further ahead. Please, after you.
Fine. But don't think we aren't keeping an eye on you.
I can't blame you. I know I'm a real looker. Cav's just past this door here. I'll get it open. And that's bad. Oh, that's very bad.
Speak, Ares. What's a holdup?
You're not gonna like this. Follow me. Yep, just like I thought. Let's chat. Welcome to the 9th Circle of Hell. First, the good news. It's bring your own paramilitary night, so the Paladin drinks for free. Well, I hope you've gotten your tetanus shot. No telling where my face has been. But listen up first. Here's the quick version. Clever little me locks that door by setting off a bogus gas leak alarm. But it looks like in order to lift the lockdown, you need to verify there's actually no gas leak. The door is real picky like that. Oh, I'd love to, but there's a little problem. If you'll cast your steely gaze to the left, you'll see a massive, impenetrable wall of strangler vines. To verify there's no gas leak, we need to get to the pump room. One guess where the pump room is located. Winner, winner, rad steak dinner. There were some engineers living down here well after the bombs fell. Looks like they lasted a few years even. Which means they had a way of fighting back the vines. Maybe start by looking for how they did that. I don't know. They're all over this region though. Hard as hell to cut, and they grow like they hold a grudge. In a past life, I used to work with these pencil-pushing sociopaths in suits. Well, not at this facility, but I was in the know about their various nefarious dealings in the region. I snooped around a bit when I first recommended the route to Joanna. There's some offices that were clearly being used as bunks for a while. Not sure what happened to them. It almost looks like they just dropped dead on the spot. That's not a bad omen, is it? Mm-hmm. We'll just skulk here in the corner in case another way of opening this door comes to mind. Let me know if you have any luck. Try not to die a terrible death.
This sounds like a very contrived way of getting us killed. Stay sharp, Initiate. From the sound of it, they wrote the numbering system down so they wouldn't need to remember it. Must be around here somewhere. Open sesame seed, eh? I've always been more of an everything bagel person. Looks like we'll need more than just a password to get through. Some kind of code for turning words into numbers, it seems. So, I guess we'll need to find a way to change open sesame seed into a series of numbers. Well done, Initiate. That was some impressive detective work. Let's have a look at this. Aha! My hunch was right. According to the label, they made an extremely potent herbicide. Judging from this container, it looks like it's meant to be dispersed into a larger system. There's sprinklers in here, so... Dear Lord. The facility's water line? That would explain the bodies out there, but... why? They must have known this would happen. No time to dwell on that. Initiate, let's look for a station where we can access the water line. This is what we need to weaken the vines. Here we go. This looks like it connects to the main water line. Let's talk next steps. I should be able to disperse the herbicide into the water line from here. I'm suspecting that the security system here won't appreciate that. Expect alarms. And the company that alarms tend to attract. Ready for a fight? Okay. Fingers crossed and guns at the ready. Let's take a look here. Half the facility. Give him hell, Initiate. Chemicals pumping throughout the entire water system now. A cess pipe that was disposing of unwanted chemicals. Well, one sleazy company's environmental negligence is our game, I suppose. Those vines should be weak enough to break through now. I, wouldn't drink the water if I were you, though. Did you hear that? That doesn't sound like a feral ghoul to me. Hostile robotic entity? That's troubling. Be on the lookout. It's dead. We should be able to lift the lockdown. Let's get back to that terminal.
Your boss looks like she's about to strangle me with one of those vines. Something happened in there?
Ares, between the feral ghouls, the strangler vines, and that insane sheep robot, I've about reached my limit with this place. And your antics. I don't know if this is some kind of trap or elaborate cover-up, but we need to get through that door and get answers. Now!
Whoa, whoa, trap? Where's this coming from? Hold on. Did you say sheep robot? Like the Baba kind or the killer robot kind?
Ares, the door! Now! Please!
Jerry, just give me a second. Yeesh.
Nearly there now. We're getting closer to the truth. I can feel it. I hope you're right. I'd like to believe he's innocent in all of this, but I can't lose sight of the goal. Finding the missing people, like Cassie, is a time-sensitive, life-or-death situation. That comes first.
Alright, let's see here. Login credentials, check. Terms of employment, yeah. Benefits enrollments expired, sure. And done. Trust me now? I'll even lead the way, so if you change your mind, it'll be easier to shoot me in the back.
Thank you for opening the door. But know that if we find anything linking you to this, you're still going to have to answer for it.
Add it to the catalog of questionable things I already have to answer for.
Like you've been pretty thorough. Are you ready to discuss what you found? Excellent. I'll take what you've collected. Let me take a look at what you found. I just need a minute to review it all. That's concerning. Wait a moment. This name. I know this name. I think I've seen enough. Initiate, we should discuss our findings. Well, it seems like Cassie was indeed a part of this caravan group, but I think it'd be a good idea to step through the evidence together. I may have been assuming too much about Blue Ridge's involvement. I'd like to be on the same page, so where would you like to start? Yes, it would seem this was a routine trip until the end. Something kept them here. And forced them to set up camp so close to home. Not quite. While that seems like a believable conclusion, the evidence points elsewhere. They were bunked down here due to a rad storm. A large group of civilians and merchants accompanied by just a single guard. Sitting ducks. Indeed. It looks like we have a clear account of their last moments here. That was my take as well. Based on Cassie's description and the letter you found earlier, we can assume they were these Hellcat mercenaries. The total number of people they've abducted, though, is staggering. Nearly 15 in this trip alone. Right, the manifest. One name in particular really stood out to me. Did you notice it? Art's niece was here on the final trip, sure, but that's to be expected. No, the thing I noticed was a familiar, recurring name. That's right. Dr. Blackburn. Not only was he present on multiple trips, but Cassie makes mention of him speaking with the armed strangers. Likely these Hellcat mercenaries you've dealt with. I imagine Dr. Blackburn was the one employing them. I knew the name sounded familiar. I had read it in Shin's report of your very first assignment with us. Dr. Blackburn was the one who had been performing experiments to help the people of the wasteland. I had thought it sounded too good to be true. But even still, could he be kidnapping people? To what end? Indeed we do. Dr. Blackburn was hiring these Hellcat mercenaries to kidnap people from this route. It would appear they were cautious at first, but took advantage of a radstorm to steal away an entire group. An unfortunate end, but there's still hope of finding them. The only thing left is to report back our findings and determine Blackburn's location. I'm glad I had you here, Initiate. There's a few things I'm sure I would have missed if you hadn't been here to help. I do believe we make a pretty great team. I know you do, Initiate. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm a bit ashamed of how quick I was to jump to conclusions on this matter. It's something I know I need to change. But even still, I'm thankful that you continue to place your trust in me. Anyway, we should get back to Atlas and report what we found. If we can determine where Blackburn took this group, we may be able to track down Cassie, and perhaps countless others. I'll meet you there. Good work, Initiate. My rash behavior was unfitting of my position, and frankly, unfair to you.
Water under the bridge. All of my best friendships start with misplaced suspicion of mass kidnapping.
I will take your word for it. I am sorry either way.
If you really want to make it up to me, I've heard you guys have some killer rocket launchers to spare.
Absolutely not. So I think we can both agree this isn't something we can ignore.
Between what we learned at AMS and the journal we recovered from Harper's Ferry, this is big.
If this is the source of the super mutant threat, I'm prepared to support any action to end it.
Initiate. Good timing.
I can't believe he just walked in here. He must have been at work even then. I should have taken a more direct interest. Perhaps I would have caught something.
Enough of that. The question facing us now is how to find him and the people who've been taken. Lucky for us, Scribe Valdez has made a discovery of her own while we were away.
That's right. Remember the Pip-Boy you found in the uncanny caverns? It took a while to crack the encryption, but I've unlocked it. It came from Vault 96. Well, we're not sure it is.
What we do know is that we have a definitive lead to follow. The super mutant threat takes priority. If we find the missing civilians in the process, so much the better. But we cannot ignore this lead either way.
Unsurprisingly, Knight Shin and I don't see eye to eye on this. Fortunately, in this case, we don't have to. I think they're connected. A vault would be a great place to hide abductees. The Pip-Boy might even have come from someone that escaped. Investigating the vault is our best lead for either mystery, and maybe an answer to both.
Then we're agreed. The vault will be your next target. Scribe Valdez will accompany you. A vault is a potential trove of exactly the kind of technology the Brotherhood is meant to catalog and secure.
I've marked Vault 96 on your map. We don't know what we're walking into, or even how we'll get in, to be honest. We'll need to be cautious. Of course. We've crossed the country on foot and fought raiders, and more. A Brotherhood scribe's life isn't all manuscripts and microscopes. We've made a good team in the past. We can handle it. Don't worry.
Scribe Valdez is a full member of the Brotherhood, Initiate, and you've repeatedly proven yourself capable.
Step 1 is finding a way in. You'll take point. Based on other vaults we found crossing the country, the vault should have an emergency transponder. Once you've secured the entrance, the controls for the transponder are usually there near the main door. Activate it to give the all clear and I'll follow you in.
There's no guarantees, but we have to move on this intel. It's a good plan, and I think we're all in agreement on this one. Find any evidence you can about the missing people and any connection to the super mutants. If Blackburn is there, I want him taken alive. If he really is behind the abductions, he needs to answer for his crimes. You have your orders, Initiate. Good luck. Dismissed.